Hello, everyone. This is the Crimson Cure, welcoming you to the Crimson Tower, a place where we keep a feminine foot on the neck of the gynocracy, feminism, and black male misandry. So go ahead, pull up a chair, stay a while, and listen.
Vitality is our ability to have spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical bliss. Some call it paradise. We call it a game.
Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I am, of course, your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So what are we talking about today? Today we're talking about Black women being afraid to be feminine, being afraid of womanhood, being afraid to just be who you really are. And this fear shows up, first of all, in projection, when she sees a Black woman that isn't afraid to have her femininity, that isn't afraid of being a woman, that isn't afraid of her vulnerability, that isn't afraid of order and structure, of leadership and system, order, and structure from a Black man specifically. She lashes out, calls that woman all kinds of names, degrades her, says she has low self-esteem, and all of these sorts of things in order to make herself feel that she's okay, that she's in the right, that she is on the right track doing what she's doing. But there's a fear, and that fear is the unknown. Because for as much as the gynocracy likes to say that they're getting away from patriarchy, i.e. Black male patriarchy, the fact of the matter is they've never really experienced that on a wide scale. We've experienced that on individual scales. If we had a father that was a patriarch or grandfather or something like that. But as a collective, Black women have never experienced in this country the patriarchy of Black men. So it's all cap when a gynocrat says she's trying to escape Black male patriarchy because she's never been in that. She doesn't know what that is. When our ancestors were in chattel slavery, a matriarch was put into place that answered to the patriarchy of palm-colored men. And so this is the value system that is now still being enacted all of these centuries later. Because while there's a fear of Black male patriarchy, not because Black men have abused it, but because this is an unknown area to the collective of Black men. What's not an unknown is answering to or being under the patriarchy of palm-colored men. But that isn't satisfactory either to a gynocrat, is it? Because they don't give you the validation that you really seek. Ain't I a woman? Sojourner Truth spoke that into existence so many years ago. Ain't I a woman? This was an appeal to palm-colored men. This had nothing to do with Black men. Because Black men already regarded Black women as women. It was it was Zaddy that never regarded Black women as full women. Only ever regarded her as a concubine, as a mule to carry out his biddings, his doings, even so far as extending to today, 2021, of being an agent in what's left of the Black community, tearing it apart at its seams. He's never given you the approval that you've wanted because you want Becky's spot and you can't have it. He never gave it to you. He implied that you could have it. He dangled the carrot in front of your face, but always kept the stick nearby to chastise you whenever you thought to fall out of favor with him, whenever you thought that you might not do exactly what it was that he wanted you to do. And so that has eluded you. That level of acceptance, approval, validation as women, which is the only way, it's the only way that a gynocrat can find her femininity is with Zaddy. Because her and her gynocratic foremothers have always answered to that patriarchy. Now it sounds good to fight against the WS and all of that. Yeah. That sounds good to be B1, but that's all cap. That's all a smokescreen because that's what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to say you don't like that structure, but really every gynocrat since the plantation days have been benefiting from that structure. So you don't really hate it. It just sounds good as a person with black skin being in this country that you have to say that you hate it. Because if you say that you love it, like you really do, like your value system implies that you do, then you'll be cast out and ostracized from the rest of the group. And you can't have that because you can't perform his agenda if you're cast out. You've been given a mantra to say that you're strong and independent, but the one thing that you fear is your true biology. And that's been imparted to you as part of the current value system that you live by, driven by the current bioculturon that you live in. And you have to be fearful of your own biology because if you begin to understand your true biology, the culture will change. And then the environment will change because we understand that biology, culture, and environment are three separate areas that don't have to spark a transformation. They only spark a transformation when you change them together. You have to do it you have to affect all three basically within a single generation in order to make it transformative. But you start with biology, and that's what you're scared of. Your own femininity. It's like being scared of your own shadow. You don't understand what it is to be under black male patriarchy because you've never been in it. So how is it that you're fighting against an idea, the reality of which you don't know and your foremothers don't know? So who gave you that talking point? Who gave you that idea? Who gave you that box to check? Zaddy. Zaddy gave you that box to check. And you've been scared of your femininity ever since. Because this is a great unknown. So you're not really getting the security either that you once thought that you could get. It's being lessened and lessened and lessened over time. You know, they're cracking down on these entitlement programs. You're not getting all the benefits that your mother used to get. You're not getting the easy subsidized housing and Section 8 housing and food stamps and SNAP and WIC and all of this other stuff. It comes by just a little bit harder. But you're so lost that you keep trying to get something that Zaddy has in so many words told you you can't get. Yeah, I dangled the carrot in your face and didn't give it to you. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. What you're going to do is what I told you to do, what your foremothers did. You're going to keep going with this agenda because you're too stupid to change it. You won't listen to what the solution is to actually change it because in your mind as a gynocrat, the only solution is that Zaddy give you his approval so you can be a woman. Because he has forbidden you to be a woman in your own home, in your own neighborhood, in your own community, within your own self and biology. You can't be a woman. You're too afraid of that. That's also a great unknown. That's why you speak so harshly against it. Try to admonish other women that you see might be going towards her true biology and admonish her to stay in a gynocratic frame, because misery loves company and you're miserable. You're miserable in your day-to-day life. Where's your happiness? Name it. And don't name material things. Name what's inside of you and be honest about that. But honesty is another thing that eludes you, because that would be located underneath your spiritual value, and you're spiritually bankrupt. Right? You're afraid of your femininity. But that's okay. It's okay that you're afraid of your femininity, because real women aren't. Real women embrace their womanhood. They embrace their female nature. They embrace the softness and the vulnerability that comes with being truly feminine. And we do so unapologetically. And guess what else? We get fulfilled as women. We get to be able to perform our purpose in this world as women. And we get to be happy. We get to find contentment. Contentment of the heart. Contentment of the mind. And you wallow around in misery. That's why you're mad at everybody. That's why you're so confrontational. That's why you're so evil. That's why you're so vindictive. That's why you're so vengeful. That's why. Because you're miserable. Because you can't find eudaimonia. You can't find fulfillment. It's in your femininity, but you're scared of it. Zaddy made you scared of it. Telling you that you would be accepted with all your masculine energy, he'd accept you. And then when it comes time for the bill to come due, he never pays it. He always sends you a credit. He always sends you an IOU. And you toil and toil and toil, never getting any reward. More and more bitter. Thinking if you drive harder, if you hate black men just that much more, if you damage black boys just that much more, if you destroy your family just that much more, then Zaddy will love you that much more. And he never will. It's not going to happen. Ever. So I'd love to hear the comments. Sound off in the comment section. Are black women afraid to be feminine? Specifically to black men, but just feminine within themselves. Feminine when there's no one around. Are black women afraid of that energy because they don't know what that energy really does? Because it's too busy in masculine energy? I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts and everyone's comments. Definitely looking forward to it. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.